I'm well, I'm well. What time is it over there?
It is 6 p.m. here right now.
Oh, okay, okay. Not too late. I
Oh,
was just worried.
what
It's
time is it for
super.
you?
In Australia, it is 11 a.m., middle of
Oh,
the
wow.
workday.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
just
quite the
linked you
difference.
a
Oh,
VOD.
perfect. Yep.
Okay,
Got
cool.
it.
What should I call you, by the way? Um,
My real name is William. If you want to go by first names, we can do that.
sure, sure, sure. All right. Mine's Enoch. Enoch.
Enoch. Okay. Sounds good. All
Yeah.
right, Enoch. Well,
Cool.
let's let's get into it. Okay, let me do. Okay. Okay, and so just to get kind of like a sense for where we're at and what your experience with everything is, how long you've been playing TFT, and generally what elo have you been, any of that kind of stuff, just like your TFT journey.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure,
also, I
sure.
think you said you were cool with the session being recorded, right?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm recording. Okay. But yeah, just give me your what your experience with TFT has been.
Yeah, for sure. I've played only 3 seasons across all of the sets. So set one, I hit diamond, and then I stopped playing for like until set 8.5, I think. And
Hmm.
then I hit masters in that one. Set nine, also masters, and then I quit again for a while until this set. And then I just hit masters, so I kind of started taking the game a bit more seriously and decided to kind of delve into not the competitive side, but more so just like the higher elo stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, kind of stumbled upon your content and really enjoying the VOD reviews and everything. And I'm like, this guy has definitely got some insights on my gameplay, so I'd love to just have a look at how I play, and I feel like I've got most of the fundamentals down pat, but I also don't know because I've never had someone watch me.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like there might be one or two like fundamental things that I still don't have down pat, I guess.
Hmm.
And I'd love to kind of see if, yeah, if anything's missing from my gameplay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is perfect. And okay, so like you're someone who's climbed relatively quickly because yeah, you've only played, a few TFT sets and you've been masters in most of them. So I guess maybe you're someone who just likes to, I don't know, you're more of a grinder with games and stuff like that. I don't know. I could pull up your
Yeah,
text tools
100%.
and see like how
Well,
much you're playing. But yeah.
yeah, this season I've played a lot. Very into it.
Okay. I mean, you've played this says 368 games. I mean, that's a good bit, but it's also like, I don't know. There are people who have 1,000 games played at this point, or
Yeah, yeah.
so it's a good, like, that is a good healthy amount of TFT games if you want to like be grinding it out and getting better. But it's not so many that I'm like worried. I don't know. Sometimes I'll coach people who have 1,000 games played and they're just like bouncing up and they've been masters ULP for like the last 500, and I'm like maybe we take a little bit of a
Right, right.
break for a sec. But yeah, like 300, 350,
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty reasonable. Okay, well, yeah, let's then just hop into the VOD. So this is component anvils here. Start off with the Amumu pair. I like that we field the Amumu pair on this board. And yeah, I'm thinking, okay, like so far we have Amumu pair, we have Darius as well. So maybe that'll be an opener that we can play around, pick up Glove as well. Like with this opener, you also just kind of have to think about there's so much direction that you can get from the early anvils. Like you can basically, if you want to play a comp and if you think you have a good spot to play a comp, you can basically just hard force it from 2-1 because you get to almost handpick your items. And so I think
Yeah,
like
yeah.
being careful about thinking about like, okay, like what are these both going to be based on what I have in my anvils here is a helpful way to also get some direction, because like normal game of TFT you kind of are at the mercy of like what items you get dropped here as far as like what you can slam. But like here now we have the
Mhm.
Mumu pair, we have Darius pair as well, we have the Draven as well. Like we have good odds of actually having a really, really strong opener where we can maybe like itemize one of these guys and be excited about it. You don't end up holding the powder in that last shop, which like I think in like previous patches when this family comp was a bit better, I would have wanted to hold powder with this opener because like we have Draven and Darius and stuff like that. But like, these days I'm not the biggest fan of family,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't really mind
And I would
not
have
holding.
to sell, I guess, one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
you'd have to
Vex,
sell one of these guys.
Draven
Yeah.
or Aurelia, and I
Hmm.
think I valued all three of those much higher than a powder.
Yeah.
I don't know your thoughts yet. I think powder is probably one of the last one costs I would hold.
Yeah. I think I underrated like I think I have underrated powder and I think she is quite good if you get like one, you know, she can make it really easy to play into like a scrap opener. Like if you just have
Hmm.
especially as well she has nice synergy with Enforcer if you get to Camille because you have like the Trundle plus Steb plus Camille plus powder board and then you're
Yes,
getting in
yes, yes.
like so many traits there. And so like that's actually like if I'm holding on to Enforcers, I will actually value powder pretty decently. And like she's also, you know, I've just had a powder two on my board in that exact setup, and the powder will do a lot of damage. So like I think she's
Right, right.
good specifically in that opener, basically. Outside of that, yeah, I don't think she's like
Okay,
that
okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So this is our start here. So yeah, we have the Mumu 2 already. We have a Darius and a Draven, and then we also just picked up the Urgot here. So it's very likely that that's just going to be our board. As far as items have, we could just make a Sunfire Slam and then have Glove open to play like AD Flex and just play that kind of stuff into like Scrap or into Twitch and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think the spot looks really, really good here. Going into first Augment, Domination, Prize Fighter, Crown Guarded. I mean, I'm not that excited to commit to Dominators from this spot with no Dominators and also with like more leaning towards AD itemization. Crown Guard, I don't love it that much. Prize Fighter is kind of interesting in this spot because like we already have so many components that I actually like devalue this one a little bit just because like we're very likely going to be able to make like Sunfire plus another item here and then this just gives us like one more item and going from like two completed items to three completed items is not, you know,
Hmm.
as big a
Yeah,
difference
yeah.
as if we had like, you know, two components and then it's like 1 to 2 is, you know, 100% increase. So like I value this a little bit less because we just have so many components already, but like I don't know. I
It's
definitely
also
like
a win streak augment, right? Well, not
yes.
a win streak, but you'd kind of want to win. And
Yes.
yeah, my board was really weak there, so
I mean, I do think maybe you're underrating your board a bit. Like in this spot we're a Mumu 2 here, we have Darius pair in this spot, we have Draven
okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Urgot here. Like I think there's a decent odds here where like you close out Augment here,
Hmm.
maybe you hit a Darius 2, and then your board's a Mumu 2, Darius 2, Draven plus Urgot.
Right,
Like
right,
I
right.
think that
Yeah,
board actually has very good odds of win
yeah.
streaking. So I do like I think I would be fine taking any kind of augment that wants me to win streak in this spot,
Hmm.
like prize
Okay.
fighter. So yeah, like I think it's a bit crazy to reroll that one first. Like I don't know. Are we really looking at
Yeah.
domination before we're looking at the? I mean, maybe. Yeah, I think maybe you're underestimating your board a bit because, like, I think this board is quite
Hmm.
solid,
Hmm.
like quite good. And if we hit any other upgrade, find Draven 2 or Darius 2, then the board is like really good odds
Yeah.
of win streaking. But even just like a Mumu 2, slam a Sunfire onto him, like that is a really strong
Yes,
opener.
yes. So evaluating that early board was
Yeah,
something I can improve on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we roll, no scout, no pivot. Not excited. Scoreboard scrapper. I mean, I'm not really trying to take domination in this spot either. Like you look like you feel like you might have to take it. Like I mean, these options are I mean, like I don't really at all want to take no scout, no pivot in this spot. And scoreboard scrapper is like, I mean, then you just kind of have to play for a loss streak, which feels bad. But
Hmm.
domination
Hmm.
feels too awkward. I would just reroll this and like, hopefully we hit something that's not domination. But like, you know, worst case. I mean, that's also where kind of like order of rerolling augments like matters. Like
Yes,
like
yes.
being left with domination as our last augment, like had I rerolled domination, like I would have been fine defaulting to prize fighter here. It's not my favorite option. But like
Mhm.
it is another item. You know, you can very easily like figure out with these components like what you want to slam based on the anvils. Like, you know, if you get awkward stuff, you can use the anvils to kind of fix that. And yeah, so like I don't know. I think
Yeah.
this could also be
S
maybe like a or sorry, you were gonna say something? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying my line of thinking of picking domination there was I did a scout of the lobby and I saw that I think most people actually I think everyone wasn't going towards that line. And by picking that, like it discourages pretty much anyone from contesting. And
Hmm.
then I can also force Silco items with the anvils. So I
Hmm.
think that was why I picked domination
Hmm.
in this spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my hesitation is like, yeah, it might be, it probably is uncontested, and yeah, it's gonna be harder for people to contest you when you take this. But like, I mean, we don't even have like we didn't hold like the zigs. We're not gonna have two
The zigs,
dominators
yeah.
in for
Yes, yes.
a while. And so for a while, this is going to
Mhm.
be like almost just like not even like we might not even play dominators on our board for a while. And
Yeah,
also, it's
yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of like thinking about like item holders, you know. if we were to play an AD game from this spot, we have a very straightforward like item holder in Draven. Even like Urgot can item hold quite well here.
Yes, yeah.
But like if we are going to play Dominators, we basically have to just play the Cassiopeia one as an item holder for now. I guess we could play the Zyra. But like we don't really have a great AP item holder. And like as far as making Dominator items here, it's gonna mean that like normally you really like just making Sunfire. This item is just so good tempo wise, but it almost makes the Sunfire stem a little bit awkward because like you really value belt in like the Dominators
Dashes,
comp,
yeah.
and so like like it makes the Sunfire stem a little bit more awkward. Like I guess you could make Steadfast then go towards Nashers, but then like it feels bad to pass up a Sunfire when like we could have just
Yep, yep,
taken something like a Prize Fighter, played an AD game from this spot, and then
yep, yep,
win streaked and had Sunfire Maiden, been happy with it.
yeah. 100%. Gotcha.
So yeah, because I think this does make the line a little bit awkward here, but okay. So we are locked in
Yep,
to
yep.
Dominators in this spot. We can level in this position. So yeah, you are going to level in this spot. Okay, I think taking tier makes a lot of sense here, just because it wants to get you towards the items that you care about. But yeah, like, already items are a little bit awkward. Like we make this and then you're going to make like JG here. Yeah, I think this is probably the best that you can do, but it's still, it feels a bit awkward here where like, we kind of had to use our belt for Sunfire because Sunfire is so good. But, our only Dominator item at 2-1 being JG, yeah, just does not
Yeah.
feel
Does not
amazing.
feel nice, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also ran into Nunu here after selling Urgot, which sucks.
Yeah.
Doesn't-
Yeah, the new the
If I
Zyra.
had Prize Fighter there, like,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely could win streak with Experiment.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. And but yeah, okay. So this is our board for now. I guess the other thing, I don't know. I think I do still mind. I would say like at 2-1, like this is our spot here, and we opt to level for Draven here to get Conquer in on the spot. I don't think like had we played more around that, like I was talking about, Draven plus Urgot opener and like made AD items, I think we actually did have a decent odds, especially with like taking some kind of augment that actually gives us combat strength. I think we actually did have odds of win streaking. In this spot here though, like having to make JG as our first item is like, well, Sunfire is a great slam, but JG is not a great slam. It's just like, I think you have to make it in this spot, but it's a weak early item, just because you're not doing that much damage, so the crit chance isn't doing that much. It's an item that scales very well with other items. And also our augment is like basically doing nothing. So I don't actually like leveling in this spot just because like I think our odds of loss streaking here are pretty high. Like I wouldn't even mind
just play
making
for the loss streak.
yeah, I wouldn't even mind making 10 gold here. You'd have to sell Darius pair here, but it's like not the end of the world, and just means that we can like start playing for loss streak here, because leveling in this spot just means like we're going to be poorer than I don't know than we would want to be for a while. Like an early level 2-1 without any odds of winning, or like if you fight weak people, you're gonna win, but you're never going to like 5 streak in this spot. Just feels
for sure.
a little bit rough. The only upside is that it gives you a little bit higher odds of finding like Dominators and stuff like that. But I'd be fine. Just sack these 2 fights, and then like we naturally level up at 2-3, and then we can start looking for Dominators off like Carousel or in the next few fights. It's also like Dominators is a pretty like item reliant comp, and so like being able to kind of like guarantee items off Carousel would be nice, because like now we end up in this awkward spot where like we lost the last fight pretty hard, but then we win this fight, so now we're just gonna be in this world where we're like where we're just going to be mixed streaking for the entire stage here, which is like, it makes it a little bit hard to play out. And yeah, you're considering selling the Darius here. I don't mind selling the Darius here. I think it's fine because like one, he's not really going to end up on the board, like later. Obviously, like eventually he's going to come off the board. And 2, like we already have the big frontline upgrade in the Amumu. Like, going from no 2-star frontline to a 2-star frontliner is a big upgrade. But going from like Amumu 2 and Darius 1 to Amumu 2 and Darius 2, especially because like Amumu 2 is holding our tank item, like this Darius is never actually going to be holding items. It's not that big of an upgrade. And also, like had we been playing for like the lost streak idea, then like also you don't care as much about the Darius 2 because like it doesn't really matter. We're just playing for the lost streak.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah, this is our spot now. We go into Carousel here. The belt immediately gets taken, which is a little bit annoying. So there's like a 1-cost sword that we can take if we want to finish a Shojin here, which I don't love. This comp, it's like sword is Shojin, which is like really, really nice. And then outside of that, there's just like not that much that you can take here. So yeah, this is another spot where the items get a little bit awkward. you end up going for,
Yeah,
yeah, you just decide to
I
bite the
did.
bullet
It
and
felt
take
really bad.
the sword
Yeah.
here. I think especially, and this is another spot where like playing for Lost Streak makes it feel like a little less painful. Like I would just take tier here, and
Yeah, I
it's
was
just
going.
because.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was thinking of yeah, taking tier for blue buff here and actually like re-rolling cast or something like that. And just playing for like early board strength with 2-star cast since I have a pair as well, and
Hmm.
then just playing cast carry with blue buff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little crazy. It could work. I don't know. I have not played at all around Cassiopeia reroll, and I have not seen anyone doing it. And usually,
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
see nobody else
It
doing
was a
it,
comp at the very start of the
hmm
set, I think, like when people were figuring it out. So I had that in mind. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So just saying.
But yeah, I don't know. Seems a bit crazy, but I mean, I would, if you did that, if you did that and played it from here. I mean, I'd love to watch the VOD. It would probably be very entertaining. But the other thing, just like taking sword versus tier off carousel, is like, yes, sword is a slam for right now. You know, we get to make Shojin, but just like the way the item pool works in TFT, the fact that we're taking sword off carousel means that when we get to the end of the game, we're going to have on average more swords than like other components because we took one off
Okay.
carousel. Have you like, I don't know, it's like it's
I
not
don't know
explained anywhere
anything
in
about
game.
that.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
the way the item pool works in TFT, it's like very weird. But like every you basically you have a pool of items. So you know you start the game and the pool has just like I think it has 2 copies of every single component in it. And then when you get items off of minions, those components come out of the pool. And what that means is like further minion rounds, you are less likely to receive the items that you have already been dropped. So, you know, anvils are also different. So we started this game with it was belt plus chain plus
well,
glove, right?
yeah,
So
yes,
those were our 3 components that we have been dropped from minions so far. That means that if you go into wolves, or you go into Krugs here, and then eventually if you go into wolves later and any minion round, you are going to be less likely to see a belt. And you can still see a belt.
I
You know,
see.
there's more than one in the pool, but you are less likely to see a belt compared to like you haven't actually seen a rod yet this game. You got one off of the anvil, but you haven't
Right.
actually naturaled one from minions.
I
Um,
see. I see. I see.
and the other piece of that is that the item you took off carousel does not come out of that pool. So, for example, like right now, you are like the components that you are most likely to see are everything except for belt, glove, and chain. So you know you're as likely to see a sword as you are a rod or you know a tier or anything else. Taking the sword means that you kind of on average are going to have more swords this game because you know you're equally as likely to see a sword or a rod, but then you also have already picked up a sword.
Yeah,
So
understood. Yeah.
when you're taking an item off carousel, usually you want to be taking an item that you're like okay having multiple copies of because you will very
Hmm.
likely have multiple copies of sword this game. And I mean, sword in this comp, there are outs. You know, you can make a giant slayer, you can make a gunblade. Like it's not the end of the world, but it's just not great. Whereas like tiers, you can use infinite tiers in this comp. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
you can go, you know, double Shojin on you. You can go Shojin, you go static Shiv as well. You can go, you know, like the tier frontline items. You can make, you know, adaptive helm if you have to. Like you can make anything out of a tier. Whereas sword, like it can only be a few things. And the other piece of it is
Yes.
that like
Yeah.
we are already like I was talking about, like we are playing this game for loss streak. I would say like we are not going to be able to win streak this early game. Yeah, you can see you scout the entire lobby. Like everyone is pretty strong. You have to go for the level here. I don't completely mind it, just because like you still get to make 10 gold. It feels a little bit bad though. Like had we once again, like I think the idea of just play for loss streak, then you don't have to level here and the game's easier. But yeah, I guess just to finish
Hmm.
the last point, like you get to make a slam here, but like I don't think I don't think with this board that we're going to win the next 2 fights. Looking at the next, especially
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like we're playing down and augment, we don't have conquer and any of that kind of stuff. So like the other piece of it is that like you don't really mind not taking sword off carousel because you don't care that much if you slam sword or not. Like if you make Shojin or not here, you're completely fine if you don't have to. You know, if you're on like a 3 streak here, then I like taking the sword for Shojin a lot better. Yeah, it's not amazing because we might end up with more swords later, but getting that
Yeah.
Shojin
Yeah.
slam is really helpful when you're on a win streak, just, to give you that other item to push you over the edge of
Hmm.
maybe, win streaking. But yeah, like because we're in this spot here, we fight this guy who's got Scrap on his board. He's got a 2-star Maddie as well. Like so it's actually relatively close. We'll see on the Maddie cast here what she does, but it's close. But yeah, we end up losing this fight. Shojin there versus no Shojin, not a huge difference. Either way, we do get some kills off for Conqueror, which is nice though. So we get to to make the 20 gold, which is actually very, very nice here. But yeah, and
So
then
here I try to trap my Darius, and then I put Vlad accidentally, and
yes,
so
I mean
yeah, he doesn't actually trap him.
a little bit
Um,
rough. I mean, I
so
think if
yeah,
you're okay, I mean, one, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do this, probably trap the unit with the units that you can trap. But also, I'd probably trap the Amumus just so the Sunfire doesn't get
yeah,
value
that
here.
yeah. I
Oh,
reviewed this
and
myself. I'm like,
I
why did I
guess
not trap everything?
third thing is that like yeah, you don't want to like buy some of these units and drop below 20. What you do is just have this Cassiopeia. Like you could just play Cassiopeia over a Mumu here and then like take off a 2-star unit with a
Right.
Sunfire on your
Yes.
board.
Yes.
So just doing everything within your power. I mean, I think because
Yes.
we didn't 5 loss, like win or lose here, it's not the end of the world. It's a 3 streak. It's not horrible that we don't get it, but I mean, yeah, especially had we been playing for 5 loss, winning this fight would have felt horrible. So
Hmm.
yeah, but okay, not the end of the world. Oh, okay. Well, that is pretty good. That makes the game definitely feel a lot better to play out in this spot. So, all right, not bad at all. I'll take the Conquer augment and then natural a Silco stage 2. Not bad at all. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, this spot
I
actually
think
looks
I remember this game was very high roll,
okay.
and that's specifically why I wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Elise
Yeah,
as
there we
well. What
go,
the
Elise
fuck?
as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to review it because yeah, I can see like what I could have done to actually like spoilers. I didn't get first here, but
Hmm.
what I could have done to get a higher placement.
For sure. Yeah. Cause yeah. Okay. So we get to hear items. I don't want to reforge this bow. I mean, it's actually kind of, it's like a little difficult because like we have the JG made already. And so like we don't, it's not very ideal to slam another JG in this spot here. So like, yeah, the reforger is actually pretty difficult. Like I'm not in any circumstance in this comp can reforge bow because that's like the best component that we have. So
Mhm.
like the question is reforge glove, reforge rod, or reforge nothing in this spot here. I don't mind just waiting for 3-2 before I do anything with my items here, just because like, if we end up hitting like an item grab bag here, I think it's actually like really, really nice. Like there's so many items that we could build in this spot here. So I would just chill for the round in this spot. You hold onto the Swain, which I like. And this is just our board for now. And then we can see what we end up getting out of something like this. I mean, yeah, not shop glitch. Mentorship is like a little bit awkward, not horrible. I mean, climb the ladder is like okay as well, not amazing. Oh, we get big. I would almost like. I mean, piercing lotus is not bad here. I would definitely just take big grab bag. I mean, almost anything here, just because like we have 3 components here that were like that. It's pretty awkward to turn into anything. And this is like almost going to guarantee give us like you probably have guaranteed like 2 slams here, and then you also have double reforger if you run into anything else awkward. Because yeah, we take piercing lotus here, and like I mean yeah, it's MR shred which we lack right now, but another way that we could get MR shred is just by taking big grab bag here, getting an
Yes.
spark,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting I mean even like a static shiv if we had to, if we get something else for Silco, like yeah, it's just like the value of
Yeah.
taking big grab bag
Even
on a board
now,
like
like
this. Yeah, no, go ahead.
sorry. Even now, even without your input, I like without any like if I didn't know it was my own game, I would have been like, yeah, grab bag for sure there.
I mean, yeah, like I even called it out before we get to augment. Like it's probably the best augment that you can get there, just because it gives you a couple more slams that you otherwise
Yeah. Yeah.
like that we can't make in this spot here. Because yeah, you end up even like I don't know, you rod the Swain here, which I mean, I guess we have a remover. I don't know. It's kind of awkward to rod the Swain, I would say, just because like you want to consolidate items in general in TFT, just because
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
any item onto this Swain or any item onto this Silco, even though he is like at this point now it's a Silco 1 over a Swain 2, like just getting a third item onto the Silco is just going to do a ton more work than getting like a first item onto Swain here. It's just because items scale off
Yes.
of each other, so you want to just consolidate in this spot. So the rod on the Swain, I don't know. It's awkward. But okay.
Hmm.
There is a giant spelt Mundo here, which would be very nice to pick up. If we can't get that, which we cannot. I mean, there is like Elise pair here if you want it. You're looking at the Cassiopeia as well with Rod here, which I guess could be like Death Cap. It's Cassiopeia too, plus potentially like a Death Cap. I don't. Yeah, I think this is pretty solid. Cast 2 is nice. You could like here's also where it's kind of awkward having the rod on this guy, because like yeah, now you end up making Death Cap here. Like I think what I would ideally do in this spot is not have the death cap here, make the death cap, and then move the Swain items actually back to over to Cassiopeia, because now Cassiopeia 2, or the Silco items are going to be better than the items are going to be better on
Mm.
Cassiopeia 2 than they are going to be on Silco. But like now we actually don't have the double remover, so like it's quite awkward to do that. Like if you
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we can't triple item anyone here in this spot essentially, unless we want to move this item over to Swain or over to Silco, Swain Silco, the two S units. But yeah, you can't like move it over to Silco easily. 4 streak here, so you make Rel 2 and level. Let's see, do we do a scout before we do this? Because like I'm not the biggest fan of this. I would say I'm not a fan of this. If we do a
Hmm.
scout beforehand and you're like, I need to do this to win, maybe it's excusable. If you don't scout before doing this, I think there's just no way that we can do this.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think I
So
don't.
yeah. I think you're in your head trying to figure out like this is a very common like you can just like I can tell just by like looking the way you're playing the game, you're like thinking about. I mean, yeah, you like hover the level here, and you're like looking at the two, and you're like moving units around, and you're like kind of like thinking here, like, okay, can I actually level here in this spot? But like the answer to that question actually doesn't exist with you sitting on this board longer and like trying to figure out, like, does it actually make sense here? The answer exists within you going scout, scout, scout here and saying, okay, how much of a
Hmm.
difference is a rel 2 going to make on these boards? If your board is insanely close in power level to these other boards and you are confident that adding rel onto this board is going to win you a fight that you would otherwise lose, then I don't mind this because, getting a 5 streak here, that's worth 2 gold. Getting a 6 streak, that's worth 3 gold. And I mean, it's worth one more than both of those because you get a gold for winning. And so like it's worth a lot of gold to maintain your streak here. And you have Conquer, and like getting stacks is also a big factor here. But more often than not, the difference between winning and losing is not going to be a random rel 2 on your board. And like, this guy
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
62 HP, like you're probably beating him most of the time. And both of these guys, I think, pushed level 7. Like I don't know for sure, but I would bet there's probably someone in here with like an insanely strong board. I mean, your board's pretty nuts, so maybe you're going to beat them anyway. But like, there might be one person in these two people who is so strong that even leveling with Rel, you're not going to beat. They have like a 2-star Cogmaw and like a 2-star frontline or something like that with triple item. And like, maybe you just can never beat that board. And like, if that's the case, then leveling here is really bad because it doesn't, you're still going to lose and you,
And I lose like 4 gold.
exactly. So yeah, I would just be really, really careful about like if you're going to do this kind of like crazy style level up, I think it can be worth it, but you just have to be sure that like leveling is going to like swing a fight. Like for example, in this fight,
Hmm.
did we really need Rel 2 on this board to win? I mean, we lived with 3 units alive, both of our 2 stars alive. Like this, like there was no way that Maddie was just gonna like blow through our entire front line here. So like this is even a fight where like this guy pushed 7. Like. And even if you had scouted this guy and said like, okay, I actually evaluate that this is going to be a close fight and I'm going to level for this rel, I wouldn't mind that if you do that and you're wrong. Like I think that's actually like a really good way to get better at TFT is to just
Yeah,
evaluate your
yeah.
board and say like, okay, am I actually stronger than this guy? And then say, yeah, I actually like I think this fight's really close. I'm going to level for the rel. And then if you think the fight, was going to be close and then you end up, having the fight not be close at all, you go like, oh, what happened here? Like why was the fight not as close as I thought? And then that can be like a really good like learning opportunity in TFT, like saying like, okay, I evaluated this fight and I evaluated it slightly wrong. Like, why did I evaluate it slightly wrong? And then go back and say like, okay,
Hmm.
maybe I wasn't thinking about the fact that like, yeah, he's level 7, but like, I have 2-star 3 costs on my board that are just going to be doing damage. And like his upgrades are only on like 1 cost and stuff like that. Or,
Hmm.
maybe I'm not considering the fact that he has slam in here, which is, not a combat augment where I'm double combat augment in this spot. So like having that
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
like using that to kind of inform your decision is really, really, really helpful. And so like I wouldn't mind if you had made that call and then were wrong and then learned from it. But like in this spot, you can't really like learn from it because you just blindly leveled and then you end up winning. But I also
Yes.
think you can realize that like this fight certainly looks like one where otherwise like it would be close had we not leveled here, but we probably still would have won this fight anyway without the oh my god. Okay, well that's why we leveled, I guess. That is why we leveled in this spot to get exactly that shop. My God, that is really, really gross there. Okay. So we had Mord to the board. We have 3 Conquer here, man. It'd be so nice to fit 4 Conquer. We'd have to either drop. I mean, I'm definitely not dropping this. I don't really want to drop this. Yeah, wow, it's actually really tough, and I don't really want to drop this. So I guess this just has to be your board for now, which is kind of insane. And like the Rumble, we need to hold as well here. Yeah, I mean, I
So
don't.
there was one line I was thinking of here
Okay.
was before I slammed bow on Swain was that actually getting Silco out and
Mm-hmm.
then slamming both items on Swain.
Mm-hmm.
So he had 3 items to Star Swain and then
Mm-hmm.
playing 4 Kong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was I didn't think of that at all in the game.
Yeah, I like it.
I want to know your thoughts on that.
Like had we had the setup where Cassiopeia is itemized, it would be so easy. The problem with that in your spot now is then we kind of have to burn a remover here, and then the removers get really awkward. But I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like in a world where we have a golden remover here, I love that. Like I think that's definitely your strongest
Hmm.
board in this spot. But yeah, like here it's actually like so awkward because like yeah, like now we have the bow here, so we can't even triple item him. And like yeah, even if we burn remover here and move items over to like Cassiopeia and then like do this over him, which would be pretty good, then we only have one remover, and then like we have to it's just hard to have enough removers at that point, which is rough. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
actually tough. Also, it's a bit I would not put this Mordekaiser on the edge. This guy at Mordekaiser 1, I mean, he doesn't even get a cast off. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit rough. I mean, our frontline kit's kind of blown up here regardless, but I would much rather just have him like, put like maybe
Hmm.
the Vladimir on the edge and keep the Elise in the middle and then have him over here next to Sion or something. Just like yeah, it's just like he's not a tank at this point. So you would definitely prefer for him to be able to get a cast off here, and then we end up losing fight, which is so rough. So yeah, I think had we I mean, I think you realize that, like, yeah, had we played this stage out better, like, had the items on Cassiope here, and then we can make that swap in, and then just Cassiopei's gonna be a bit better here as well, like, and, maybe position them more differently, then, we can actually win this fight, and then be on, like, an insane spot. But, I mean, also, still, I mean, the spot is still insane, 83 HP. It's just, we are also in the spot where, because we made this early level, we're actually, like, not not really broke because our board is pretty expensive, but like almost a little bit broke in this spot. Like we have
Yeah, agreed.
yeah, it's actually quite difficult here. But okay. We we end up getting okay, pretty decent items off minions, I would say. Because you already have the Mordekaiser here, we can start looking towards like itemizing that Mordekaiser. So that's something nice. Like I did not mind at all making a Hodge onto him, Ionic Spark because we still don't have Shred, and then just chilling on those. The chain is a little bit awkward to kill eventually. It could end up being like Edge of Night or something. But I think those items slams are pretty straightforward, and they Crown Guard here. I mean, it does get rid of the chain, which is not bad, but I mean, I guess we have whatchamacallit, we have the thingy Lotus here, so yeah, I think this is fine. The cloak is then we still kind of have an awkward component here in the cloak, but I mean, it could be adaptive, it could be BT, it could be something. Okay, and then you do end up moving the Mord back. Okay, and the Hodge is so nice with the Lotus thingy. So yeah, I mean, this board looks pretty nice. Having this Mord early just means we're gonna be so much stronger than we normally would be this stage, just because this guy, yeah, just so much work. Like when he doesn't get blown up, especially now that he has items, he will do an insane amount of work.
Hmm.
So yeah, also,
Would you value QSS there by any
um,
chance, or
I think
or
it's
the
a
Hodge is like much better?
well, I think it's a fine item in general. I guess my question is, if you make QSS, I guess then we're going like QSS Crown Guard, and then we have tier open, which is pretty good. I don't know. I kind of like just Hodge onto Mordekaiser here, especially because we have whatchamacallit, the Lotus as well. So like the crit is very good onto
Hmm.
him. But I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I think QSS is okay. I like the slam that you made
yeah.
here, but yeah, I don't. I think QSS is also pretty good here, and leaving the tier open is kind of nice as well. Like I think it does leave a better component open in this spot, so that's a positive, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is pretty good for now. It's like when you're in a fight where you aren't getting CC'd, this will be much stronger, and then obviously, like when you would be getting CC'd, it's like a little bit weaker, probably. But like there will be a decent amount of fights where Mord just isn't getting CC'd. I definitely want to hold on to this this Blitzcrank in shop here. Like we already have the Mordekaiser in this spot, so like we're really just digging for Mundo, and then like we could play 6 Dom on this board, and it's like a big spike, especially with whatchamacallit, with the Dominator augment. So I'm definitely down to hold this, and I think you hover it, but you're just kind of like, well, like I'd have to sell like Vlad pair or something like that, which like I don't like. Vlad pair is okay, but I definitely would prefer to hold on to this
Yeah.
blitz for the second that we end up getting
Hmm.
the 6 Dominator. Like it's just something I'd be excited to play around. Okay, last augment here. Little buddies in this comp tends to be kind of awkward, actually. There aren't that many one costs that you want to play.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like as far as two costs, like you have Ziggs and like Vlad for now. It tends to not be that good. But I mean, your other options are not amazing here. Like I don't like the Spirit Link augment very much at all. And it's like Sated Spellweaver actually like I don't know. I've thought that it's better than like it would be, but like it really has not felt that good. Like in theory, it's pretty decent in this comp just because you're doing all this casting and getting some extra shield and stuff. But like I don't know. I've tried taking it in spots like this and it has not felt very good. So yeah, I actually would default away from Sated Spellweaver here. And I like inspiring epitaph just as generic combat here. Okay, and then you do look at okay, we take epitaph here. But yeah, you're looking at Sated Spellweaver. Yeah, I don't know. My experience with Sated Spellweaver has not been very positive, so I would stay away from it. I level here for 4 Dominator. I think again, this is kind of like a bit of an aggressive, like just too aggressive of a level. When
Yep, yep.
like your board is fine. Like it's not like yeah, leveling here is obviously going to make our board a good bit stronger, getting 4 dom in. But like if you sack 2 rounds here, you're really not going to take that much damage. Like you have the Silk already, you have the
Mhm,
Mordekaiser already, you have these 2 stars, you have the Elise already. Like you have a lot of stuff already onto this board. Like you do not need to be that afraid of like losing this fight, these next couple of fights, and you're 78 HP, which is the big thing. Like you're healthy in this spot. So
mhm.
yeah, like this level feels awkward to me just because like you kind of kill your econ here. Like now it's tough for us to make like at this point we have to look at like selling Rumble just so that we can make even 10 gold, which feels bad. Like we definitely would like to play on this Rumble rel stuff, but like if you're going to do this, then I don't know, I'd almost say like if we're going to do this, then I feel like we have to start like getting out of stuff and just playing like a more kind of like getting some of these units in. Like we'd have to like sell Darius and then get like Relin and then like you'd even it just becomes awkward. Like eventually we might get out of the Swain, but like we can't really get out of him right now just because he's so good on the board. But like you almost like have to go like sell here if you're gonna do this and then just make gold and then move the rod over and like it feels really bad. But like you almost have to just because like we're so broke now. Like if we don't make 10 this round, like it's gonna be so hard for us to have enough gold to find actual like 2-star like Silco in this spot. We kind of like we sort of are very fortunate that we ended up finding Mordekaiser here, but like it's just gonna be we're so broke as far as like finding Silco too. We're gonna either have to high roll or
Mhm,
just like
mhm.
I don't know, or it's gonna be a long time before we find him. And like I said, like these couple of fights, I mean, I don't know what this guy's. I don't know how this is this
Yeah,
guy's spot.
yeah,
This guy like AFK'd halfway through the game, I guess. But
probably.
obviously we would win this fight regardless. But the average board this stage is not going to be this week. But the average board this stage, you will either get like a good loss to, or like maybe even beat with this board. Especially at like Masters, Elo. Like I think there are a decent amount of boards that you could actually end up just randomly beating because people are playing bad boards.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, okay. So we'd like the belt here. We still can't pick it up. So now we just have the cloak open here. So it's either like BT or adaptive helm here. I think it's just like adaptive helm better than BT. Just because like we already
Okay.
have the Hodge here in the spot. Like more healing is going to be a bit overkill onto Mordekaiser here. And it's also like adaptive can kind of go on anyone. Like I feel good about throwing it onto you could just make adaptive onto Mordekaiser for now, and then like eventually if you get like a Nashers for him, then move it over to Elise or to Garen or somebody. Like that feels pretty good. Okay, and now we finally make the
Okay.
swap out of Swain at this point, just because like I guess like yeah, you're kind of feeling pressured to start making gold here. But like once again, like I think this is kind of like a problem of our own creation. Like this the board gets weaker here. We cut a Swain 2 for a Rumble 1. Like, it's just a weaker unit, and we're dropping out of like traits that actually do stuff. Like Form Swapper and Sork on this board are both doing something, whereas Scrap on this board is doing like basically nothing. And like
Yeah, yeah.
because we're playing this setup here, it's like difficult for us to even fit the rel here. Like I think if you're going to do this, then you have to just play Rel over Garen as well and get Conk
Over
plus
Garen, yeah, yeah.
Sentinel in, just because, yeah, like I don't think you can really, it's just gonna make the board too weak, I would say, or even I don't think there's another. Like I guess you could theoretically even drop out a Black Rose here, but like I don't think you get that much doing that. So yeah, I would just play Rel over Garen here if we're going to do this. But like there's also like because we leveled early, like we have to make our board like we almost have to make our board weaker in this spot. If we were going to do this, though, yeah, I would just cut the Garen for now, get the Conqueror in. Like, Conqueror for Mordekaiser is quite nice. Sentinel onto our
Hmm.
entire board, and especially onto a Rel 2 is very nice. And then, like, we can hold the Garen for, like, level up later, or, I mean, we'll see. You could even sell him if you really want to. Okay, energy absorption in this comp tends to be pretty nice. You can just put especially if we can get to like 6 dominators, you can even just like frontline stuff like Ziggs, and just say like, okay, I'm just gonna eat
Mm,
the
yeah,
AP
yeah.
from Ziggs dying. So yeah, I've seen this do pretty well in this comp. It's a little awkward, like you would just put it on Silco probably. Like, it'd be cool to anomalize Mord, but like, because he's a frontliner, it's this kind of weird thing where like he could actually end up like dying before, like, energy absorption on Silco, he's always gonna be one of the last units alive. The Mordekaiser not exactly. So I just like this, and I'd put it onto Silco here. You can even like bring this Cassiopeia up as well and put her second row. So yeah. I don't know. I was looking at what you call it, dual wielding here. I actually like don't even mind this either. And you could just put like, you get 2 items for Garen in this spot here. It's just like
Mm,
we already have triple damage item here, and like we are kind of lacking tank items in this spot here. So I don't actually mind this here. Just grab this. Like, we're pretty far. Like, we're not really gonna have tank items here, is the thing. Like, our only open component here is bow. Like, this is probably gonna be another Nashers here. And also this dual wielding augment, I don't know, or anomaly, when I first saw it, like, I was just like, well, why would I ever take like dual wielding? It's like, I could be buffing up my units even further, but like, you will make Silco stronger by having a frontline that can actually support, Silco.
yeah,
Or, you'll
yeah,
make Mordekaiser stronger by having a frontline that will buy enough time that he can get a lot of casts off. So like, I think this is actually a really, really good anomaly if you're in a spot where you are like missing items. And I think this is actually a spot where like, yeah, like it's actually gonna be really tough to get to 2 tank items in this spot. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Freestyling here tends to be a pretty good option. So yeah, you're just gonna go for it. It's a little awkward right now, but like we can definitely get to a board. It actually, like, I kind of wish we still had the Swain now, because like Swain helps fill out the traits really nicely onto this board. Just because like we only have 5
Yes,
in, you
yeah.
can definitely get like a lot more with other setups. I mean, we even have the Rel, which like if we level up and then we're 7 traits in, 7 non-unique traits in, that's pretty good as well. But like, it's also like we're still pretty far from actually like being able to level, I would say. So yeah.
I don't know if you're not talking or I've
Oh,
just turned my
sorry,
volume down.
sorry,
Oh,
sorry. I
oh, there we go.
yeah, yeah, my bad, my bad. I muted my mic to cough, and then I tried to unmute it and I didn't. Okay. No, what I was just
All good.
saying is like, what I would do here is like, I like that you do a quick scout of the lobby here. Like, what I would do here is just get a sense for like how many Silcos and Garens are out of the pool here.
Mm,
Like, you have you only have 1 Silco, 1 Garen here. Like, it's actually kind of scary. Also, like, Mundo is something that we can potentially look for. This Mordekaiser being out is interesting. This guy has a Mordekaiser as well. But yeah, I just want to know how contested we are in these units and how likely it is to actually hit them on roll down, because like we win streaked, most of this stage, probably going to end up losing to this big Vi, though honestly it was really close. But
I
like,
think that was positioning diff, honestly.
yeah, having the
I
the
changed
Silco,
sides
yeah, the Silco over here
yeah,
and
the
end up.
deep roots got me.
Yeah, like, if
Yeah.
you're over here, you probably do win, which, I mean, I think you do. I don't think you end up actually scouting that player before you fight them. I think you were moving sides for one of these other players, it looked like. Guess we can go back and look.
Yes, for
Yeah, for
I
that
think
guy, I guess.
specifically,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, both of these guys are on the right side, so you're just trying to shift your other stuff like Elise and this stuff over there. I think is pretty reasonable. But yeah, I mean, we end up fighting them. I mean, you can't position for everybody, so rough. I mean, I think this positioning that you did is mostly better versus those other players, though I don't really like Mort still feels a bit vulnerable on the edge here. I'd try to move him closer to the center, I think, just because
Mhm.
I'm a little bit afraid that just a Mord one will get blown up by something like, I mean, it lives pretty long versus like this Twitch. It lives very long, actually, my God. But a little scary, but okay. We end up losing this fight just barely. But I mean, it was a positioning issue, but I think you saw 2 people that were on the right side. I mean, I think maybe if you can scout everyone in that moment, you can kind of figure out if it's correct or not to swap here. But like, okay, so the reason why I'm talking about like scouting so much for these Silcos and Garens is that like our board is pretty good, but it's also like, oh, and there's the Mundo, which is nice, and a Silco. Oh my god. But like the spot is still not like that insane as far as like our board strength right now. Like our board this stage is actually going to be a bit weak, and if we're going to try to go fast 9 in this spot, I'm quite worried, I would say, about a fast 9 in this spot. Just because, like, yeah, we can get in, 2 more traits, which is great for our freestyling or whatever. But like, if you actually like stop and take a look at our board, just like asking how many upgrades we have on this board, we have 1 2-star unit on this board right now, which is just Cassiopeia 2. And then every single itemized unit that we have is 1 star. And
Yeah.
like Mordekaiser being 1 star, I mean, it's 5-1, that's okay. But having no 2-star forecast in our backline and no 2-star forecast in our front line feels quite bad. This is something that I thought about when I was just trying to give people like a sense for like how to see how strong your board is, and it's like a very inelegant rule of thumb. But my new rule of thumb that I like to check in VODs like these is just take at the start of the stage, take the stage -1 and say, do I have a 2-star of that cost as a backliner and a frontliner? So like stage 5 -1, do I have a 2-star 4-cost backliner and do I have a 2-star 4-cost frontliner? And you can do that at any stage. So like the start of stage 4, like you have a 2-star 3-cost backline, 2-star 3-cost frontline, and like you can spend stages where it's like, oftentimes stage 3, you won't have 2-star 2-cost in frontline and backline. But that oftentimes will mean that you'll end up like losing some fights, and you'll see the boards that are winning are the ones with those type of 2-stars. And so like it can be a good way to get a sense for like, okay, I'm a little bit weaker here than like average, but like that's okay because maybe I don't have 2-star 2-cost stage 3, but I'm gonna spike really hard at 4-2 and get to like a 2-star 4-cost, which at 4-2, a 2-star 4-cost is like way ahead of the curve. But like
Mm.
in that same way, like right now we're actually way behind the curve. And if you want to go 9, you probably have to sack 3 rounds. If we, yeah, I mean, you definitely have to sack 3 rounds. Like if we level to 9 next round, it's going to be really tough. Like we're just not going to have enough gold. Okay, so item off of the anvil here. I mean, you have Nashor's Open, which tends to be just, I mean, such a broken slam in this comp that I would just end up making it, and then I could even just move Krongard over to Garen and be fine with that. Wouldn't mind that. Chain here for Edge of Night. I don't think you actually need Edge of Night here. Like Crown Guard, BT, Hodge, these are all kind of defensive items, Like these are all items that are going to make Mordekaiser last longer. So I don't think you actually need. You don't need another survivability item. Like you're going to replace, I guess, like Crown Guard with Edge of Night, but you're just replacing an item that gives him a shield with an item that makes him not get blown up instantly. They're the same function. Nashor's is really important because he has no like attack speed right now, and Mordekaiser without attack speed, I guess he's getting some from like Epitaph and stuff. But like Mordekaiser without attack speed is very sad. So yeah, I would just take Nashor's here. I mean, it's like one of the best items in this comp. Like if you make a Nashor's every time you're given the option in this comp, like you will probably not go wrong. So you can just make Nashor's here. And then, yeah, I would just want to, once again, like consolidate items, right? It's a little bit awkward that we have like one item here and then like one and then like half an item here, which is getting scrapped, but like half the time this bow is going to roll into like Renans or something and just like not even be an item. Like, yeah, like Last Whisper Rumble is really not an item. So it's like, it's kind of like we have one item here, one item here. But yeah, you can kind of see, I mean, this fight actually, yeah, this guy's pretty weak. So we do end up winning this fight. I think after winning this fight, it's more acceptable to go 9, but I definitely would not want to do it next round. Spare Farts, I think is fine. Oh my God, we pick up the Silco. But yeah, I don't want to go 9 here because you,
No upgrades.
yeah, you have no upgrades. You need like a lot of gold right now to actually make your board good. Like you need, like in an ideal world, you want to roll and hit at least 2, Garen 2, Mordekaiser 2, like just those upgrades alone, that's like 26 gold of upgrades that you need. And that's without, taking into account the gold that you actually need to roll. And so
Roll, yeah.
like you need in actuality like 40 50 gold here in this spot to actually like hit everything that you need on this board. So like leveling at a spot like this is actually gonna make it a lot harder for us to cap high. And sure, we get these extra couple of traits in, but like I would much rather just sit here at I mean, you're 50 gold in this spot. We found the Silco 2. Now our board's actually like completely fine for the next 2 rounds. Chill for 2 rounds. Okay, if we lose a fight, whatever. We're 69 HP in this spot. Like it's not like we're about to die. So just chill for a couple of rounds. And then we can actually level after carousel here. Like leveling here, and I don't love leveling here, but had we leveled here and then not rolled at all, I would love it a little bit more. But like the worst, I feel like, is this where we level and we're rolling it to 0. Like it's gonna be so
Yeah,
hard
I
for us
think
to
that was a
find
brain
a
dead roll.
yeah. Like it's like
I didn't really think about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, which happens, but yeah, like it's gonna be so hard for us to find actual like Mordekaiser 2 and stuff like that. Which is how like this game we naturaled the Silco early, we naturaled the Mordekaiser early. Like we're 69 HP, we're pretty, we're relatively rich in this spot. Like this is a game where we should be playing for first, and this is not a play for
Yes.
first type play. This is
Yes.
scavenge
Yes.
whatever placement that we can get in this spot, which just does
Yes.
not feel like what we should be playing for when our spot felt so good prior to
Mm,
this.
mm, mm.
So yeah, I think you can just chill on this board. We don't have Garen 2 at this point, so I think you consider cutting Garen for the LeBlanc. You will lose one trait because you lose Emissary plus Watcher, but you get back in Sork. So yeah, you'll lose one trait here, but LeBlanc I think is just a much better unit than like a Garen that like is one item in this spot here, and like
Mhm.
making the Scion bigger will help account for some of like the front line that we're losing. It's just like just a random LeBlanc on the board generally just feels so good just because of her, getting her ability off and giving that damage share is like she's not like a utility unit, but she's kind of like a damage utility unit. I don't know. It's a weird way to think about it, but yeah, like getting her ability off is just so big in spots like this. Okay, I mean we have Gunblade here. Yeah, I like Gunblade here. Well, Gunblade, Archangels, eh, neither is like amazing. Okay, I can live. I guess Gunblade's fine. I mean, I think I probably still would take Archangel just because we have so many healing items at this point.
Mm.
Like what's probably going to
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
here, like what I would like to do here is move Crown Guard, I guess, over to Rumble at this point, and then put an item onto Mord. But like double healing, like this Mordekaiser unit has enough healing in this setup. Like he's going to be fine. And yet Gunblade Rumble, like once again, like it's just at a certain point, so much healing is not doing anything if you're not actually like doing damage to amp up that healing,
Mhm.
So I'd rather just take Archangels,
Yep,
have
yep.
like a damage item for our Mordekaiser and play around that. But yeah, like this fight is really close as well. Okay, we end up winning this fight, not bad. I mean, that guy is the guy that you probably are going to end up having to worry about because he's Caitlyn 1 right now. He's got, is this an Mbessa 2 on bench? It kind of looks like an Mbessa 2. I think he's 2 off Mbessa 3 as well,
Oh, he is.
which is probably something that we should worry about. So yeah, probably put like Mbessa into our team planner here. But like this is the guy that you're going to have to worry about. Like if he gets to Caitlyn 2 and if he gets to itemize Vi, like this is the guy who, if you don't get to stuff like Mordekaiser 2 and like LeBlanc 2, is going to be able to cap high enough to beat you. So and he's 65
Mhm.
HP, right? He's really, really healthy in this spot here. So yeah. Yeah, I don't get why we're rolling to 0 every round. Like it's this other guy. Oh, and there's also a 9 scrap in this lobby. Okay, well now, yeah, we really have to be afraid of what happens. I mean, beating 9 scrap is not easy, potentially just impossible. We'll see. We do end up rotating into him, which is, I mean, this is just he got the scrap here and then another scrap +1. There's not really much that you can do about 9 scrap in this spot. You just have to play for, like, once again, like having that other guy in the pool, 65 HP. You just want to make sure that you're stronger than this guy and then just try to farm a top 2 because yeah, I
Mhm.
mean the guy hit 9 scrap.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
really beat that. I mean that's just TFT for you. So like all you can do in this spot is be healthy enough and hit a high enough cap board that you take okay losses to him and that you stomp this other guy. And like this is where all of our really aggressive rolling really starts to hurt us, where we are
Mhm.
still everything 1 star. Whereas had we just sacked a couple of rounds, like we could have rolled with so much more gold, and then we'd be in a spot where okay, maybe we could hit Mordekaiser 2, we could hit like the Garen 2 and stuff like that, or maybe cut the Garen and play like LeBlanc 2 and stuff like that. Like our board would be a lot better. Now that we lose to this guy, this actually means that we're like almost guaranteed 3rd in this spot unless something really weird happens. We end up hitting this. I mean, I do think Cassiopeia out here.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a big mistake, I think. I
yeah,
got rid of
yeah.
4 Dom.
Yeah, now we drop out
Yeah.
of 4 Dom here, and then yeah, I think you did it because you want to get I mean, yeah, you wanted to figure out how to fit LeBlanc, and then you were like, oh wait, Cassiopeia was the Dominator, which is yeah, unfortunate. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I always forget that for some reason.
yeah, no, I mean, because oftentimes you're not like advising her and stuff. I mean, yeah, that's just a brain fart, which I mean, I have seen whenever I do stuff like this, I'm always like, how did I do something so stupid? And then like it always makes me feel better. Like
Mm-mm.
I'll watch like like Setsuko or Dish Soap or like one of the best TFT players in the world do something like equally as stupid sometimes and be like, okay, it happens to
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
sometimes. So like
Yeah.
that's the copium part of it. But yeah, like we're just I mean we take a decent loss here, but still like we're just not like maybe at this point we're strong enough to beat this guy and we do end up winning, but now this guy has such an HP lead that it's just really, really tough here. I probably would just, I mean, oh, we have Mordekaiser repair. Yeah, okay, I'm down for this. And then we still have the Reforger actually. Reforge. Oh, we're thinking about reforging something else. I mean, the bow as well. That's actually nice. I like this a lot because like there's a lot better stuff. Oh, it bugs out for a second. Pit fighter. Okay, well, nice. Not much to be done. And then we fight. Wait, holy crap! I actually do beat this guy. We fight. Oh no, we fought this guy. Okay, I was like, how? There's no way that happened. Okay, yeah. We
Yeah,
fight that other guy, beat him. We actually fight this guy back to. Oh no, then this fights him. Oh my god. I mean, that's
yeah.
tragic.
I was very surprised I got third there. I think
Yeah,
I
I
even
mean,
wrote in the
our
chat.
fight RNG at the end was actually so good. Like our fight RNG actually made it possible for us to go top two. Which like
Mm-mm.
I think when you look back at this spot here, it should be like almost impossible for you to go top two because it's just like if you
Yeah,
fight this
yeah.
guy like one time, you're doomed. But you rotate into this guy like so many times into a row. You rotated into him like three times in
Mm-mm.
a row. You like fight his ghost into his real into his ghost again or something like that, which is so high roll. But
Very lucky.
yeah, we still don't end up top four, and I mean, I think the reason why we don't have top four, obviously, we didn't save, like if we'd saved just a little bit more HP, we'd be or not top four, but top two. But if we, this is where like losing like these couple of fights ends up being really bad, and like had we, chilled a little bit more and like been in a spot to have like Mordekaiser 2 here already, or even I mean, it feels even worse, but cutting the 4 Dominator also probably costs us
Yeah,
that
yeah.
top 2 as well. But I mean, yeah, any tiny thing this game, the econ, that little thing, slight itemization difference, having the Nashers here, like any of those things could have been top 2 this game. But I mean, even besides all that, I think this is like, had this guy not gotten to 9 scrap, this is a game that you should be able to play for first. And like, I really think the way that we played out the latter half of this game was not really like playing for first, which definitely felt
For sure, yeah.
a little bit rough. And then,
Yeah.
augment choices, different stuff. Okay. And we're about at time. Do you have any questions from this game that I didn't answer or just like general stuff that, I don't know, the VOD made you think of in general?
No, no, I think I knew I was definitely making a lot of mistakes per game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just about kind of recognizing those because even when I VOD review my own VODs, I'm like, yeah, that was the right decision. But I really needed like a third
Yep.
person to like kind of yeah, and I looked at, I think it's like tactics.tools where you can look at your stats and it was like
Yeah.
econ C and I was like, wait, I econ so well. I always hit my, 50 gold and all that stuff. But this game really exposed where I'm not scouting before going 7 and I'm like pushing 9 with 1 stars. Like it's really obvious where those improvements can be made.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really appreciate the insights you've given.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, TFT is a game where it's just like, I don't know if you have, I don't know, experience in other games like League or, games where like
Yes. Yeah.
mechanics matter more, but it's like, you play League and you like play a fight out top lane and you get 1v1 solo killed and you're like, okay, I fucked up here, like straight up, like there's something I
Mhm.
did wrong. And you might not even be able to know exactly what you did wrong, but you know that is a place where you made a mistake and you can like go back and figure that out. TFT, like
Mm.
oftentimes when you make the mistake, you will not even realize in the moment that you're making the mistake
Yes.
because
Yes.
like if you knew that it was a mistake, you just wouldn't do it. That's just how TFT is. So yeah, that's where
Yes.
coaching is really nice because I can give you that second set of eyes on your gameplay and like show you things that you just wouldn't be able to see otherwise. So yeah, I think that's exactly what coaching is for, and so I'm happy that that
Yeah.
my insight was helpful this game. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I will.
Thanks for the session. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.